Peace, people. It's me, Arlenejramsey, CEO and founder of Everyone Let's Talk, also your favorite self-wealth mentor. How you guys doing on this Tuesday morning? Good? Well, I hope you're doing fine. I would just like to address some things that a couple of us discussed regarding my Facebook post with the 50 Cent versus Floyd Mayweather. Most of you thought that I let Floyd Mayweather off of the hook. Some said that I chose one over the other. If you guys really paid attention to the status, or if you comprehend what you've wrote, you would see that I specifically spoke about 50 Cent's character and his ways. I did not make mention of Floyd Mayweather, right? Now, usually, as I've done some research, and I've seen that, of course, Floyd Mayweather have been in a couple of instances. But it's always when someone is bringing the fire to Floyd. Now, he looks like the bad guy because he's the boxer, right? You guys are getting caught up in the smoke and mirrors. I have yet to see Floyd Mayweather actually go out and pick anything with anybody. So, yeah, he's cocky, arrogant, you know. Usually we see that when right after a fight or right before a fight, he's confident in himself, right? Now, as far as him beating up his girlfriend or his ex-girlfriend how many years ago, again, I made mention of that. That was how many years ago, which he, paid the price for that. How many times have we seen Floyd put his hand on a woman besides that one time? Some people made mention that he disrespected his father on HBO. Let me tell you guys something. When it comes to family affairs, I think that you need to stay out of it. That is something you need to mind your business about, because you don't know how Floyd was raised and what happened to him as a child. All right. Part of his inability to read fluently or up to his age, could be a result of him may not have been taken care of like a child should have been taken care of in his adolescent years. How do we know? All right. So here's why I say that. I've disrespected my grandmother a couple of times as an adult. But you have the slightest idea of the things that I've been through as an adolescent and the major role that she has played in why these things has happened to me. So as an adult, if she comes at me the wrong way, she will get no respect because she doesn't deserve it. Plain and simple. It's either you respect me or you proceed with caution or you get disrespected. Now, I can only imagine that if some of you saw me not respecting my grandmother, that you may have said the same thing, but you have the slightest idea of what I've been through as an adolescent. So that you should mind your business. Or if you're going to talk about it, you need to dig deeper to find out about the relationship between Floyd and his father. That's what you need to do before you harp on that. Also with the Tiny situation, all right, see, that was another thing. From the pictures that I saw Floyd talking to another woman with Tiny standing right next to Floyd, and I saw a picture with him having just his hand like on her shoulder like this, but he's looking at the woman in front of him, and I believe that's what caused the commotion. My question is, yeah, Floyd, you're 100% wrong by putting your hand on another man's woman. But my question is, Tiny is a married woman. Why is she next to Floyd like that? Has any of you thought about that? Why is she that close to another man knowing that she's married? And then, do you guys remember a couple of weeks after that, or not even that much after that, a couple of days after the Floyd and T.I. bang out, Tiny and T.I. had something in the news where they were having marital problems. So that tells me that Tiny deliberately placed herself there next to Floyd because she knew that that was going to cause a commotion because her and Tiny were having problems in their marriage. But many of you are looking at Floyd because it's easy to look at him. It's easy to think of him to just be the all-right bully because he's a boxer, and you think that because he can beat people in a ring, that he'll deliberately go around and bully and pick on people because people can't beat him, right? So you guys, a lot of you guys are putting Floyd Mayweather in the same category as you put Mike Tyson. And I looked at the Mike Tyson story, and I saw where Mike Tyson was convicted due to his ignorance. Now, he was another one who couldn't read. He was another one who has a story about his childhood, but because of his lack of knowledge of who he is, because of his temper and not knowing his triggers, people were always able to find Mike Tyson's triggers and provoke him, and he would just fall into the trap. And next thing you know, he's in the media, he's in the news. Mike Tyson did this, Mike Tyson did that. But in actuality, did Mike Tyson actually go after these people, pick on them, and then hit them and beat on them? Or was it the other way around? And you got to realize something with human beings. Human beings can be very treacherous. That when they know that you are weak as far as easily provoked, people will not leave you alone. They will continuously provoke you to cause strife, cause comments, and next thing you know, you're in the news. Especially if you have money. Or especially if you're the high guy or the high girl, because they want your position and they want to see you down. All right. Now, I'm not giving Floyd a way out, or I'm not saying or an excuse, but what I'm saying is that you guys need to dig deeper into what it is that you're talking about, especially when it comes to Floyd and his character. He has some instances, and he has paid. For every instance, I have seen him either pay a price, whether it's jail time, whether it's fines. But I can tell you this, that I know he don't go after people. However, 50 Cent does. Right? 50 Cent does. And in order for 50 to stay relevant, we all know that his approach to staying relevant is always negative. It is never positive. And as per my post, I said that I specifically stated that he spends more time pulling and looking for people's weaknesses than he do paying people compliments. And that post went over everyone's head because you were too busy bashing Floyd, and you were too busy thinking that I was making excuses for Floyd. I'm not making excuses for him. Floyd is ignorant, and Floyd needs to get that part together. But let me ask you a question. Can any of you make Floyd Mayweather choose to improve his reading skills? Can any of you do that? The answer is no, you can't. If Floyd chooses not to improve his reading skills, neither one of you can make him. So is that any of your business? Right? And then I see some people say that our children look up to these people. You know what? Here's my thing. That is a sad situation if you think that your children look up to people they don't know and will follow people they don't know over your influence. If that's the case, something is wrong with you, and maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Maybe you shouldn't be a parent. Now, I know some of you may say that's easier said because I don't have any children. But here's what I do know. That with the day I do have children, that we will have a strong connection. Now, part of the reason, or how can I say, part of the foundation of having a strong connection with your children is allowing your children to be who they are. Allowing your children to be who they are. And then guide them within structure, depending on what it is that you're guiding them about. So let me give you an example. If your child can relate more to Andy Warhol, more than they can relate to a 2-star general in the military or a customer service representative, who do you think that they're going to want to emulate? Now that is if you're not supporting their artistic side. If you don't support their artistic side, if you don't bring out and hone in on their special gifts and special skills, who do you think that they're going to look up to? So it has nothing to do with your children looking up to celebrities. It has everything to do with your children trying to capture and hone in on people that they can relate to, because they don't know who they are, and because they can't find that type of support in the home, in their home. So if you say, "Oh, I don't want to hear that. You'll never be able to be an artist. That's just too difficult. Only white people make big money being an artist." Peace, people, I'm back. So again, bottom line, if you allow your children to be who they are spiritually and artistically, your children will not want to look up to celebrities and people who are wealthy, who are incapable of reading. They will more likely want to be themselves. All right, children only connect to people that they can relate to. All right, that's a clear sign of that. So I hope you guys took that as message. Also, going back to the T.I. and Tiny situation, also remember that Floyd didn't put his hand on T.I. T.I. flung a chair at him. Bodyguards came in and broke it up. All right, so that's the other thing, where although Floyd is cocky, you guys are still blaming him for things that has happened in the past, but he is also learning. He didn't swing at T.I. because he also know that if he did do that, there will probably be a lawsuit, because T.I. is only worth $50 million. And as I've stated on Facebook, as of March this year, Floyd Mayweather's net worth is $280 million. And do know that he was worth more than that, but he has a large entourage and he spends money on people that surround him. So you still got to give it to Floyd, because the people who don't have that surround him, he also gives them a good time. Although 50 tries to school him on it so he can keep money for himself, in Floyd's mind, you can't die with the money. So he gives the people around him a good time. So you still have to think about that. Those who are around Floyd appreciates him for that, because they get to enjoy the good life. They get to travel. They get to do whatever it is that Floyd pays for them to do. All right. Next up, 50 Cent's net worth dropped to $270 million. So I said again, don't get caught up in the smoke and mirrors. Anytime you see people, especially like 50 Cent, although I mentioned that he can be a bully, I asked the question. I didn't say that he is a bully. It wasn't a harsh statement. It was a question that I threw something out there just to provoke thought. And again, that also went over people's head. But what I wanted to mention about that is that when you see people with characteristics like that, you also have to look out. And I also mentioned about workplace bullying and bullying in school. When you have people with characteristics like that, they teach their children how to be like that by being like that. So their children learn that. And then you have some people who will naturally have those type of ways. And if you have a parent who condone that, they will not balance out those type of ways. And then you have children and people who have to go out into the world and deal with other people and make this whole world more difficult than it was meant to be. The Creator did not mean for this world to be this difficult. That is just how it is. All right, people make it that way. Although there must be a balance, although there must be cruelty, there must be deaths, and there must be murders and all of that. I'm not getting into all of that, but what I'm saying is that we need to start paying more attention to certain characteristics, because too many times we let characteristics like that fly. But characteristics like that is what's actually the problem. I've seen it in corporate America. I've seen a woman have a nervous breakdown on the job because of having to deal with a person who exudes characteristics such as 50 Cent. I had someone who told me, mentioned that, 50 is not doing anything physical. Right. When people suffer from workplace bullying, it is never physical. It is always verbal, and it is always a psychological, emotional problem that they deal with. Whether thinking they're going to lose their job every day, having to deal with people setting them up, stealing work from them, or trying to discredit them from their work. But when they do that, it's all verbal. Assassinating a person's character and having people talk about this person on a job, and next thing you know, they can't be considered for a raise because there's too much drama going around about them within an office. That's all verbal. Okay, you guys need to do some research and pull up workplace bullying, and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay, and that's the only thing that I want to leave off with. Again, when you see a post, please comprehend what you have read, and please don't be so quick to just harp and judge based off of what you think a person is not talking about. Because if I didn't mention it, or something is not mentioned, you have to think that maybe the person only wants to deal with this specific thing at this specific time. All right, there's several reasons why people do what they do. But before we're quick to just judge, we should be more quick to ask questions, more quick to try to find out. That's it. I'll leave you guys with that for today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I should have something up by the rest of the week. If not, peace.